Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and of course I'm reviewing Critters 3, which as it states there, starring Leonardo DiCaprio in his film debut. Now while he did do TV work before it, yes, it is the very first film he was in, which is why his picture is there. Now, Critters 3, this is not the cover I remember. The cover I remember, which I wonder if they have on Wikipedia, I wonder if they have it. It's probably not going to show on here because of fucking the lighting. Which, be forewarned, I always swear in these reviews, so be forewarned. If you can see it there, it's basically Critters 3 in a city. And the tagline is first they destroyed a farm, then they terrorized a town. Now they're ready to do some real damage. Critters 3, you are what they eat. So from a farm to a town, and now they're in a city. So I remember when I was a kid seeing that and go, wow, they're gonna go to the city. Wow, that would be cool. But it's not that cool. But at the same time, I'll be honest. Fair warning. I can watch Critters 3 and 4. So they're not rants. I will say though, I'll keep saying it. Critters 1 and 2, I enjoy very much. And I think Critters 1 and 2 are much better than 3 and 4. But 3 and 4, I can watch as time wasters. I can put them in, get a soda, some popcorn or chips. I can watch them, do some stuff. Okay. They don't make me mad. But I will say Critters 3 and 4, they were filmed back to back, and they don't have the budget. That they definitely don't even have the budget that these two films do, which is sad because Critters 1 and 2, it's not like they were multi-million dollar, 20, $50 million productions. It's more like, hey, these films, even though they did decent box office at the theaters, they made money on videotape. So let's make some direct-to-video films and do them back to back. Which I'll probably say this again when I talk about Critters 4. If they just combined the budgets to these two films, put them together, you probably could have made a worthy Critters 3 instead of, Critters 3 and 4, which, again, they're time wasters to me. I don't get mad at them, but I can understand why people don't like them. Critters 1 and 2, I liked them. I mean, it's hard to, I'm not going to hate anybody who doesn't, but like I could defend Critters 1 and 2 a lot more than Critters 3 and 4. Like Critters 3 and 4, it's hard for me to defend them. 1 and 2, that's a different matter. But I'm not mad at people who don't like them. But if people ran on Critters 3 and 4, I can understand. Like Critters 4 though has the lowest budget. I mean, they took footage from Android and Critters 2 for the for outer space scenes. I'll say again, Critters 4, I don't mind them being in space. They're aliens. They're in space in the first movie at the beginning. But Critters 3, the fact that it pretty much says they're going to be in a city and they're really not, it's just an apartment building, is like, wow, that's false advertising. You lying assholes. But it was directed by Kristine Peterson, who did Deadly Dreams. So that's why that sounds familiar. Mario, one of you guys, I think did you review this film? Deadly Dreams, where it looks like he has a raccoon mask on or something. Wolf mask. Someone reviewed this film. I know they did. So the same director of that did this film. I don't know what they said about it though, because I can't remember who the hell reviewed it. She direct is it he or she? Kristine Peterson. Yeah, she. She directed Critters 3. She also did Kickboxer 5. That's the one with Martha Costos. But she was a second unit director or assistant director on Exterminator 2, Chopping Mall, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and Tremors. Wow, those are better movies than this. I can't admit that. But Critters 3, it would have been cooler to see Critters in a city, but they don't have the budget for it. Uh, Now the film, I'm looking at the info right now. Directed video by New Line Home Video in December 1991. Uh, it starts off after, of course, after Critters 2. You have this family. You have a father and a daughter and a little kid. The father character I did not care for, though. I really didn't like this guy. John Calvin, I think, as Clifford. Clifford, God. I remember that movie, Clifford, with Martin Short. Ugh. But I didn't like this person. He was just sort of oblivious type of dad. You really feel sorry for his kids. Like they're trying to tell him, because their mom passed away years ago, don't stay home, don't go so far for your job. But he's just not even listening. But they're coming home from vacation. I guess they leave and they leave. They live about, I think, Topeka, Kansas, which is weird because you look at that poster, it looks like they're in New York or L.A. or some other big city. But the the daughter is Amy Brooks, which I think all she's been in, like, oh, she was in Monster Man. She was one of the stars on Monster Man. That's the film by Michael Davis, who directed Shoot 'Em Up, about the killer and a giant monster truck. That was a film I was kind of disappointed in, to be honest. But maybe it's one of those things that I gotta see again. But Amy Brooks was in that. Wow, okay, I forgot about that. But she stars as the girl, the teenager, and she does okay. I mean, I've seen much worse in the film. I mean, she does okay. She stars as Annie, and she's with her little brother, played by two kids, Christian and Joseph Cousins. And this kid looked familiar, and weirdly enough, is because remember Kindergarten Cop? The Arnold Schwarzenegger is looking for the son of the bad guy. That's the same Kindergarten Cop, the son of the bad guy, who Arnold was trying to find to protect him from his dad, especially at the end. I'm like, oh, that's the kid from Kindergarten Cop. Thought he looked familiar. And it's weird that I say it takes place in Topeka, Kansas, but it even says on IMDb that it's Los Angeles. Because even though it's Topeka, Kansas, it looks like Los Angeles. Even though the cover kind of looks like a different movie as well. So it's like no one even knows what the hell they're doing. But low budget, that's how it goes. Oh great, the Wikipedia fucking cut off on me. Thank you. But they're going home, and as they're going home, their tire breaks down. They have to fix it, and that's where you meet up. While the dad's fixing it, the teenage girl, pretty much teenage, and her little brother go off to play, and they meet up with Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays. It's always weird. I think that's one of the interesting things in watching Critters 3 is seeing Leonardo DiCaprio at such a young age. Because I like Leonardo DiCaprio as an actor. What's he deal with great performance? I really like Inception. I really do. I'm not a fan of Titanic, but Leonardo DiCaprio is not the problem with Titanic. I mean, there's other problems I have with Titanic. It's not him. What the hell was I going to say? They've thrown frisbees. I'm trying to remember. They're throwing frisbees, and one gets put down, so they have to climb down again. And that's where they meet up with Don Opper, his character Charlie, which is weird on what the hell he's doing there because it's pretty much a few years after Critters 2, and by the end of Critters 2, you find out that Charlie he's going to be the sheriff. So I don't know what the hell now. It's a few years later, and he's off like he looks like a homeless guy. He pops out of the earth. I don't know why the hell there's more critters. I was going to say tremors. Why there's more critters around? I guess they just popped out of fucking nowhere out of someone's ass. But he's been hunting them, and he tells them the story, and you have flashbacks to the first two films, and he gives uh, a crystal to the little kid, saying when it shines green, then that's when to get on your guard. And it's funny. I was looking through reviews and someone said it reminded him of kryptonite, or like one of those crystals and Superman. Kind of like one of those crystals that Superman gets up and like gets his information from. Kind of reminds you of that. And it's weird. Those crystals never appear in the first two films. They just they just thought it out of their ass. But ultimately, the girl and her brother deal with the father. They go back home to this apartment building where you find out that there's some folks moving out. That you have this asshole character, which I didn't mind the actor. What the hell was the guy's name? Jeffrey Blake is the actor's name as Frank. I thought he did fine. He sounded like someone from New York. He's actually been in quite a few films and TV stuff. He was in Apollo 13. He was in Contact. Wow, he's gone on to do bigger things. I didn't mind him as an actor, but he's pretty much a guy working for this other guy to try and get the people out because that way they can sell the building and they'll be completely evicted and build a mini mall, whatever, stuff like that. But of course, when the family stopped before, one of the critters went up and stayed there, and you have a couple apes there. And as they got there, some of them get the fuck out and crash through the basement window of the apartment building. So they don't take control of the city. It's an apartment building, which that just reminds me of Critters 2, Gremlins 2. I will say Gremlins 2 is much better than Critters 3. Like Gremlins 2, maybe that was kind of thing. You thought they were actually going to take over the whole city. But Gremlins 2 has a lot going for it. I really enjoyed Gremlins 2. I thought it was a very imaginative sequel. They try to do their own thing. And they got shit on by some people. But I really like Gremlins 2. They definitely have a bigger budget Gremlins 2 as well. But, it's these creatures, you think they're going to take over the whole city, but it's a building. Here's like a building as well. So, cheating bitch. You lied. But they definitely didn't have the budget for it. And you meet some of the tenants, like the girl and her brother are going to be staying with this old couple. And I know I've seen, yeah, the old woman is Frances Bay, and she's been in a lot of stuff. Oh, that's too bad. She passed away in 2011, but she was 92 years old, so she's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah, she was in The Karate Kid. She was in Twins. Oh yeah, she was in John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness as the old lady that turns into that creature that has her husband chained up and with the axe. Um, she played the grandmother to the Fonz on Happy Days. Oh yeah, she was in Happy Gilmore as Adam Sandler's grandma in Happy Gilmore. That's right. She's always nice to see. Always seemed like a very nice lady. And her and her husband are going to take care of these kids while the father goes off on business, and the daughter's trying to reach him. And Amy Bird, she does fine. I mean, you get the idea that she's trying to reach out to her father, but her father keeps like, instead of watching TV, hey, how about we, play some cards? And he doesn't want to listen to them, so she gets pissed off. And I don't blame the girl. Like, I'm kind of with the girl at this point. The father's being kind of a dickhead, so I didn't like that guy. I would fucking punch him in the face. Let him get eaten. I didn't like that character. But Amy Burst, I thought she did fine, even though I liked some of the characters in Critters 4 more. Well, really, Critters 1 and 2. Like, this is probably the least interesting cast for me, to be honest. I think that's what hurts the film for me. Because Amy Burst does fine, but, the other films, I think, have more interesting casts. Like, Critters 4, I like Angela Bassett and Brad Dourif, and even the lead guy, Paul Whitmore, more. And the first two, you had Scott Grimes, or you had D. Wallace Stone, stuff like that. Barry Corbin. Here, it's kind of the least interesting cast, but one leads to another. The critters start taking people out. Like, they take off the asshole who's trying to get them out, takes them out in the basement. They start attacking people, and they have to go up. They use their poisonous darts, which they don't use in Critters 4 for some reason, but in Critters 3 they use the poison darts, and like they hit the girl's father and this big, I don't want to say fat lady, that sounds mean, but big bone lady. and they need some help. And uh, at the same time, you have Leonardo DiCaprio, him and his stepdad going in, and Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't want anything to do with it because his stepdad's an asshole. And the stepdad looks like fucking, what's that guy's name? And fucking the director. He was in Seed of Chucky. Shit. God, I forgot his fucking name. He directed, God, why can't I not remember his name? John Waters. I think that's what I'm thinking of. John Waters. Yeah, he looks just like John Waters. He's not John Waters, but he looks like John Waters with his mustache and stuff. Like, guy is a real prick. He's the one who hired the asshole to get those people out, and so that if they get out on their own accord, he doesn't have to pay them money to relocate. So he goes in like an asshole and shuts off their power and their phones, so that's why they can't get help. But the guy gets eaten, and I actually like this scene where he goes in, he wants to evict people, and he sees people from behind, so he sees three pairs of. He thinks it's just three people, because the back of the critters, it looks like, someone's hair. But as he turns around, like, Leonardo DiCaprio gets pissed for good reason, because the guy's an asshole, slams the door on him. But then the critters pop around. You get a lot more critter action than Critters 4. Like, Critters 4, you only get 2. And that's after, like, 37 minutes. Although that one tries to be a little bit more serious. And this one, a little bit too goofy at times. I know that sounds stupid. But I like this scene because Leonardo DiCaprio tries to open, and he's like, "Hey, come on, stop it! He can't help being an asshole." I thought that was a funny line. And you have some fun action with the critters, like when they're trying to attack them, they fight them bad with like a mop. Like you have this bit with the mop, like the Amy Brooks grabs the. I thought this was a funny scene. Grabs the critter and starts bouncing back and forth against the wall, and you see the critter going, "Pooh, pooh, pooh." Like still grabbing on the mop, like you get the idea. He's saying, "Wow, what the fuck did I do to you?" Or like the scene where she throws this thing down and they all fall down and fall up like bowling pins. And basically them trying to get out of the building, they can't, so they go up, and one thing leads to another, and like Leonardo DiCaprio gets helped by this woman. I think her name is Catherine Cortez as Marcia. And what else has this woman done? Not a lot of big roles. That's too bad. Because I really liked her. 1988, something called Sticky Fingers. She was on the TV show The Equalizer. TV work. TV movies. Woman Speaker and Final Analysis. Wow, that's a great big role. The Hard Truth. Last time worked in 2002 and Slapper, She's French. That's too bad because this was the most likable person in the movie to me. Because she's like a phone repair woman, but she seemed tough. Like but she didn't have to act tough or put like a Christian male voice, but a woman voice. Like she just seemed like a tough presence. Like she could take care of herself. Like she puts a flare in one fucking critter's mouth. When they're trying to escape through this thing, she's like kicking critters in the face and even punches one right in the face. Like she has a good tough presence to her, and I really liked her. I wanted to see her more in the movie. I do like the film as a time waster. I would like the film even more if this character, the Marcia character, was the lead. Because she was really good. I really liked her. Catherine Cortez. I really liked her. But yeah, they're trying to escape, and like she tries to go off because she's a phone repair woman. She wants to get here to get to the phone lines, but if she's outside, if kind of fucks up and she falls down almost to her death, but gets tangled by the cords. So like throughout the rest of the film, she's upside down trying to reach this phone booth, and that sucked because I like that character. I wanted to do more. And what I was talking about Goofy before, I mean, I understand it's criticism, but I didn't really care too much for the scene where like the critters get together. Like one is downing detergent and gets drunk off it. One's like eating beans and farts. I hate fart jokes. I'm not a fan of fart jokes. Uh, but then you get to the third act, and then Charlie comes in because I guess the old guy before the husband of the old woman, Frances Bay, I believe her name is. The older guy is Bill Zucker. He's much more into, conspiracy stuff like that. So he had made it called Grover's Bend. I guess he had talked to Charlie. That's why he's there in the third act. But they kind of don't really put that well into the script. It's kind of like a throwaway line. So I think a lot of people be like, what the fuck? How the hell did he get there? How the hell did he know this was going on? But I will say, out of all the films, Charlie does the most in this. Don Opper. I like Don Opper. I don't mind him in any of the films. Um, he has more. It seems like he has more screen time in Critters 3 and 4 than 1 and 2. But each one he has his moment. He's definitely the one actor throughout all these films. Him and uh, in a way Terrence Mann, but more Don Opper. But yeah, he definitely kicks a little bit of ass. Like he shoots through the door and kills one. He's helping Amy Brooks and shoots like one or two others. There's a scene where they're trying to get to the roof, and he's like, looking at him in the eye, give me the gun. Like Frances Bay, she has this big ass meat cleaver and fucks one up. Don Hopper gets the gun, shoots it, and it flies in the air and boom, explodes. I'm like, wow, great shot. Then it gets to the ending where they're on the rooftop and because the Marsha she put one flare in the mouth. And I like the effect, like you see like the inside of its stomach, like it's flaring up. You see like a rib cage and stuff, and it falls down through this laundry shaft to the bottom of to the basement. And because it's on fire, it makes the building on fire. Uh, but then like one of the critters they thought was dead is actually alive. Tries to go after the little kid from Kindergarten Cop. Charlie saves him, falls off, but he doesn't die. He actually grabs something and he falls through. And finally, Dad gets us off his ass because as he was doing that, the kid almost fell to his death, and his sister Amy Brooks is helping, and the father finally gets off his ass to do something. Then basically the guys, you get the whole wrap up where okay, they will be reload. They don't get the money for the relocation. The place is going to be built up, and they're going to be fine. The father learned his lesson. He's going to get a job nearby. And then it ends with a sequel bait where it leads into Critters 4, where Charlie's looking around and something's going on and is to be continued. Now, again, it's not as good as the first and second one, because the first and second one I thought had a lot more energy to them. They definitely had a bigger budget to them. Not a huge budget, but bigger budget than Critters 3 and 4. They were more fun, they were more fast paced, they're more entertaining. I like the cast more. More stuff happens, the critters have more to do. But Cruise 1 and 2 are just more satisfying films. Cruise 3, I think it has the least successful cast, even though it was interesting to see Leonardo DiCaprio in an early role. Uh, Don Opper, I thought, did fine. Amy Brooks, she did okay as in the lead, but I prefer the leads in Critters 1, 2, and even 4 more than her. But she did okay, but I didn't hate her. I didn't really hate her. I really like this girl, Marsha. This woman, I should say, Marsha, Catherine Cortez. She just had a better presence to her and likability. Like, I wanted to see more of her in the movie. And, she could handle herself, and she was kind of like a badass. But, she just, you could tell she could handle herself, and I thought she did fine acting wise. Again, if she was the lead, I probably would have liked this even more. And that's too bad she didn't get a lot of roles. Because, again, she did a really good job. I tell you, I really liked her. So, the fact that it doesn't take place in the city, even though it was advertised to be, it's misleading. You can tell because they didn't have the budget. A little bit goofy stuff, like getting drunk on detergent and farting after eating beans. Not biggest fan of that kind of humor. I mean, there's goofy stuff in the others, but here I hate fart jokes. That's the thing. And I think because the cast is the least interesting, it hurts it. But it's a time waster. It was interesting to see Leonardo DiCaprio in the lead. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, and I like this Marcia character, and the Critters definitely come into play much faster than say Critters 4. But it's a time waster, and then when the Critters start advancing through in the apartment building, they have to fight back. And you get some nice moments like her with the mop beating the shit out of this thing, or them trying to get to the rooftop, fighting back against the Critters. I thought Kyoto Brothers once again did the effects work, and I like the look of the Critters. I thought Don Opper actually had some really good moments as Charlie. He actually kicked some ass. That was cool. Um, the apartment building setting, not the most interesting setting. Although it's weird, anytime I think of an apartment building now, it just makes you think of the Raid. Like, yeah, Critters version of the Raid. Can you imagine that? Jeez. Although I would see it. It'd be bad, but I would see it. But it's a time waster. I guess I probably should hate it more or whatever, but man, I don't know if it's because I grew up with it, or maybe because it's a Critters 3. It's low budget, direct to video. I've seen much better direct to video films. It is what it is. I think if you like Critters 1 and 2, you could give it a watch, but if you don't like it, that's fine. But, just grab this 4 film pack. It'll probably be the same cost as getting Critters 1 or 2. And Critters 3 and 4, it's at best is a time waster. I can watch them. For some of the critter action. I like the critters as villains. They're just even fun to look at. Nice designs by the Kyoto brothers, simple but effective. And hey, you want to see Leonardo DiCaprio in his first movie role? That's interesting. And yeah, some decent stuff at the end. And I think it would have helped if they had a bigger budget. Maybe a little bit more of an appealing cast, like the father character I didn't care for. Did that Marcia character, Catherine Porter, let her be the lead? Would have been more interesting. But either way, it's Critters 3. What more can I say? I don't mind the Critters films. They are what they are. I love the first 2. Critters 3 and 4 are time wasters, but, I'll keep saying this. I would like to see a documentary on these films. That'd be interesting. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you later for the final installment, Critters 4. Later.